Out of the mic. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. What's going on? My hair's a little bit of a mess today. Oh, it's. I'm trying to get this. What's going on, Mike Lee? What's going on, Hirsch Real? What's going on, Zack Attack? I'm trying to get the damn screen sharing to work because I have my top 51 giant. I have my top 51 prospects here. And I'm trying to share my screen. So I'm trying to figure this out. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. For some reason I want to share just a window. Chrome tab. No, I don't want. I want to share my screen. How do I share my screen? I don't know how to share the screen, guys. Some reason it keeps telling me Chrome has lost permission to share the screen. So we got the combine coming up. We had everything exciting happen this weekend. We had everything going on with the Giants. We had basically the Shane come out and say, Daniel Jones is our quarterback for now. I mean, that sounds like a ringing endorsement for Daniel Jones. He's our quarterback for now. What does that mean? There's a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation that he loves his old buddy. You know who he loves. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get people upset. Because for some reason, when I say it, people get upset. But he loves a quarterback. He loves a quarterback out of Liberty. And it's one of those things that you're like, oh, why does he love him so much? The big questions are also going to be for the Giants. Was there anyone at the combine that they really were impressed by? Was there anyone at the combine that stood out above the rest? Was there anyone there that they now they had the Kayvon Thibodeau came out and said at one point in time during the combine, now everyone loves him. You know what, T-Brad, you know why everyone loves him? I wasn't gonna stand up this early, but you ready? And now I got the soundboard, so I got the mixing and the scratching. Gotta get to work. That's right. Not only is it poppycockers, but I'm wearing my number 13 Miami Sharks Willie Beeman jersey. Why? Because everyone got upset when I made number 7 for Malik Willis. So we're just gonna have Willie Beeman then. We're just gonna have the Miami Shark Willie Beeman jersey from now on. Why does it get people so upset? Good morning, Tyrone. Why are so many people upset about this kid? I didn't want to get into Malik Willis this early. But there is this upsetness about Malik. Why? Why is there an upset? Oh, I can upload a file. Hold on. I can upload a PDF from my thing. Why are so many people upset about Willie all of a sudden? Willie. Why are they all upset all of a sudden about our old buddy Malik Willis? Why? And you get people that vehemently despise him for some unknown reason. I put on the Twitter that he scored a 33 on the Wonderlic. And people are like, 33, that's terrible. The score is 40. And I then posted that the average score for the Wonderlic would be, get this, 25. 25 is the average score in the Wonderlic. But everyone got upset that I put it, that he scored a 32, that he scored above average. And now people are like, oh, Willie. Willie. Oh, everyone was like, oh, we love him. We love him now. We want to do videos on him. Let's see if I can add this to stream. Hold on. Let's see. Can you see that if I do that? Let's see here. I'm trying to see if we can get this to work the right way because this is my top 51 list of prospects. I'm trying to see if I can't get, what is this? Let's see here. We're going to try to see here. Shift 8, cinematic layout. Let's try that. Let's try Shift 8. That didn't do a damn thing. That didn't do a damn thing. We got to figure out how to get that list up. We're going to figure out how to get that list up. And we even have our old buddy. He rocked the combine. I love this part now, guys. Gotta get to work. Now I can do some mixing and scratching here.
That's right.
Got the whole soundboard working now. And we're always going to wear our Willie Beeman jersey from now on. I was going to wear the number 7 forever, but we're wearing the Willie Beeman jersey. We got Vinny G dropping into the house as well. What's up? It's Vinny G. We got Zach saying that Malik Willis looks good in the combine, but he still has a lot of work to do and can be fixed. That's the other thing that kills me. And I'm not calling anyone out, but people are like, well, he looked good in the combine. That makes even more of a stupid statement if all of a sudden you're jumping on them. And I'm not picking on you, Zach, but that makes it more of a stupid statement if you're jumping on the Malik Willis Express because he looked good at the combine. Okay, have we not learned anything about combine warriors? I hate when I see that on Twitter. I hate when I see that on all types of social media. He looked good in the combine. Now I like him. You post that, you do anything on that, I don't even want to listen to you anymore because you don't know football. You don't just take a look at the combine and say he does really well. It's for the average fan to look at him and then pontificate how good he looked in the combine. He missed some throws, but he's got one of the best deep balls that I've seen in years. If you watch his out patterns, he waited. He waited before he threw the ball. He waited. At one point in time, I think he went and made a sandwich. Sat down, had a Coke, then ran back up and said, oh, I got to throw the ball now. Unfortunately, I don't think we're getting Malik Willis because I think the Lions will draft him at 2. That is that's my thought, Grant. I have a feeling that the Giants, I have a feeling that they will, at some point in time, take him at 2. There's always been the scuttlebutt out of Detroit that they like Willie. That they have a fondness for Willie. So I'm thinking that you probably are potentially gonna see him go 2nd overall. There's that chance, which is also good for us. Like I said, I'm not going to be upset if he goes 2nd overall. I'll have to update my damn thing. That's why this isn't working. That's why I can't get my damn list to work. I got to update it. But I think that's the reason why, at this point in time, that we have some problems. They said that Malik Willis lost to Army this year. He threw 3 interceptions. You don't lose to Army unless you're Navy, Air Force. Small school biased. Tyrone says, makes sense to take your quarterback now while you are in the position. You can't rely on next year. What if the middle of the pack, all of a sudden the draft capital takes a hit upward and crippling? I hear all the quarterbacks about next year. I hear all the quarterbacks. Gotta get Van Dyke. I remember a couple of years back, Tua was the greatest quarterback ever. Tua was going to revolutionize the quarterback position. Then he got hurt. Then he went to Miami. Then he proved he didn't have the arm strength. Hate it when I'm right. Always behind due to lag. Tim, have a good stream. Willis at 5 unless Kayvon falls to us at 5. I agree. What's up, Wolvie? What do you think about Devin Lloyd's combine? Form seems a little slow, but did get the chance to watch the actual drills. I didn't get to watch all the actual drills. I watched a good portion of the combine. And like I said before, Wolfie, I think the fans get more involved with the combine than the team, than the players do. I mean, I think they get more involved than the coaching staff. Because I saw it yesterday, and it was a great point. It was a great point the other day that James Williams sent me a video, and I can't remember who was on the video. And it said, if people think that all of a sudden Joe Shane has fallen in love or fallen out of love with someone because of the combine, they don't know football. And that's the truth. A combine is just a snapshot in time. It's a moment in time. Jones can be your bridge. Willis can sit a season. I said that, Tyrone. Sit his ass. Sit his ass down. Why not? What's up? Doing it. L. What's going on, my friend? I want number 5 at 5. You want Kayvon. Kayvon reminds me of Clowney a little too much. He does. But I think he's going to have a bigger upside than Clowney does. I do think he's going to have a bigger upside. Willis' deep ball was better than Russell. Willis's deep ball I mean, I don't even know what to say about Willis's deep ball. Willis's deep ball was something special. I mean, literally held the ball. Now, I am going to tell you this. Kenny Pickett has dropped down on my list a little bit. If I could figure out how to get the list up, I would show everyone the list, but I don't know how to get the damn list up. Let's see. Let's see if we can add this to the stream somehow, because I got to make it bigger. I don't think anyone can read that. How do you make it bigger? Does anyone know how to zoom in on a list? That's my list. I don't know how to zoom in on it. Does anyone know how to zoom in? Let's see. Do I do this? What about this? I wonder if I make it my background. I don't have to do that. Do that. How about I shift it that way? How do I shift it the other way? Do that. Do that. Do that. The problem is I'm having right now is the fact that you know what I could do? I got an idea. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna be fancy. I think the biggest problem I'm having right now is that I didn't update my browser. So I got an idea. We're going to put up 51 to 30 on my list. And this is the online Big Blue top NFL prospects for whatever today is for 2021. So we're going to import this isn't selected. I know this is probably not professional, but I didn't have time to get ready and I didn't have time to update my browser. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to put in the top 31. I'm going to cut this down for you. And then we're going to look at the top 31. If anyone's got any questions, if anything's got any other things I want to talk about, we can. There we go. There's the top 31. So we're going to move that out of here. We're going to do this old school. We're going to go back right here. We got the E coming in. We got a special guest coming in second here. And I'm going to add this into the screen. You know what? I'm going to be, while I'm adding this into the screen, my top 31, I'm going to drop in a special guest. He's been on before. It's the E. It's the L. Because he's doing it well. Giant fan supreme. Mucho grande. Here he is. What's up, my friend?
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I'm glad you could come in. Everyone knows who the E is. Everyone knows who the L is. Everyone knows. You're always in the chat. You're always in the comments. You're always pontificating and giving out great information.
You're the man, Tim.
I appreciate that.
Like the hair. Too.
Hair's a mess today. I just got up. A little late. Well, I didn't get up late. I got up at 5, but I got to come roll late. What do you think of the combine? What did you get a chance to either look at the combine, read about the combine?
What were your thoughts? A little bit. I'm not going to say I was stuck like other people were, because at the end of the day, I think it's just another marker. It's not the end all be all. It is, I think it's one of those things that you have to go through and kind of check off the boxes and see what's really there. I think one of the most underrated things about the combine is, and I think probably the GMs know a little bit, is to really touch base with the player and get to know these people.
And that's a great point. The interview process.
Yeah, I think the interview process is really where they really I think that's where they really differentiate these guys outside of the ability, right? Of the just skill set that they bring to the table too. And I think that's part of where, I think Shane is going to really drill down on, I think too. Because he keeps saying the players we want, the players, we need. And
was there any player that you think? Now I know the Giants have said that there's really they gave evidently. I think Kayvon Thibodeau basically came out and said that the Giants gave him a little bit of a hard time.
That's what I heard.
Did you hear that?
I heard they drilled him.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to be so vulgar this early in the morning. Just kidding.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Okay, sorry, wrong button. I got the damn thing not working here today.
I guess they were very thorough in their questioning.
Yes, I think they were very. Do you think that is an indication of any sorts that the Giants are? I mean, you're not really going to break it down that much, I guess, with a guy and really get into details unless you think it's someone that you want to draft. I mean, do you think that he is in play, or do you think that's the Giants are looking at him going, "Hey, this could be a guy"?
I think so. I think you got to look just because of the skill set that he brings, right? I mean, everybody's enamored by that. Just the way he rushes, the way he just bull rushes through, O-line. It's just, that's like you said, it was kind of like Clowney-like. We just hope that he stays on the field. unlike Clowney.
Yeah, well, Clowney to me has always been, and like I said, I'm a big Clowney fan. I'm a South Carolina. I like South Carolina. Clowney, of course, had the big hit on the running back in college, the highlight film, that was kind of the definition and antithesis of his career. That he had that big hit, and that kind of led to him into the combine, led to him in the draft, and then Clowney kind of flaked on the bowl game, and pretty much towards the end of the season, and then kind of went, his career has never been what it was. It could be the microfracture surgery, but it's called, it could be anything. Yeah. Was there anyone that you think the Giants potentially could have thought to themselves, you know what, this guy's maybe a little bit more athletic than I thought, or someone that they could have looked at it and said, you know what, this is kind of gone down, this guy is kind of, maybe his athleticism isn't there.
I think there's an upside in the Riddler.
I do too.
I heard that he after Malik, he did himself some stuff there. I think Malik crushed it out of the park, but I heard Riddler like kind of put himself on that second tier, and maybe eclipsing or being on par with Pickett. I mean, people still love Pickett, but I think the Riddler, the way he just kind of set himself, completed his passes, threw some long balls, probably, people are thinking like this could be the next Russell Wilson,
right?
Like a second or third round pick.
I mean, I would take him in the third round easily. Now, I will say I did watch all the passing drills, and some of his people will complain about Malik's touch and Malik's ability to take something off the ball. I think Desmond had a little bit more of a problem with that with his drills.
Oh yeah.
And I think he missed some short passes on the sidelines. On the sideline drill, he missed those short passes a little bit, and he was a little high and off. And all the people that say that, and I think it's funny that a lot of people say about Malik, well, he's in shorts and a tank top, and then, yeah, of course he looks good throwing the ball deep. But what do you say about a quarterback that doesn't look good throwing the ball in shorts and a tank top? Do we all of a sudden say that he can't play in the NFL?
Right, exactly. Like you can't go one way and not the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, you got what you have, right? And I think the Riddler can surprise a lot of people. I think.
Yeah,
he's got some, and then he crushed his.
He ran a good 40.
Yeah, his 40 was.
Yeah, he ran a good 40. Malik, of course, did not run the 40 because he's not going to run to the pro day.
Going to do it in his pro day, he said.
Yeah. And I agree with Malik not running the 40. Because it's the same reason Lamar Jackson didn't run the 40.
Right.
Because if he crushes the 40, people are going to be like, well, he should be a running back. He should be a wide receiver.
The whole Bill Polian smelt.
Yeah.
That, I see Lamar as a wide receiver or a running back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy part, that you would have a quarterback like this, or potentially have a quarterback, and you want to think that you want to move forward. Now, Kenny Pickett, I want to talk about briefly. I don't know. Kenny Pickett, evidently his hands measured extremely small.
That's what I heard.
It's like 8 inches. I mean, he doesn't have hands like these. So that's his problem. I should just send him my hands and just call it a day. But if you watched him throw, he was, and again, it's the same thing. He's in shorts and he's in a tank top. While he had a beautiful spiral, while he had nice touch, when you watched his deep ball, you kind of thought to yourself, it gets cold in MetLife in December. And last time I checked.
The other point with Pickett is that the guy has played 5 years.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people forget.
He's played 5 years. So you better be above the rest of your competition if you played 5 years in college.
And his best season wasn't until year 5.
Right.
Most people forget he took advantage of the COVID rule, which allowed a player to come back for a 5th season.
Exactly.
If they were out of eligibility. And that was his best year. And that's a great point. And I brought this up on the video a couple times. He's played 5 seasons. Does that make him, I mean, is this his pinnacle, his 5th season? And it took him 4 years to get to his pinnacle? Or was that an aberration like a Leonard Williams season?
Yeah. And it's not fair to the other guys who've only played 1 or 2 years.
Right.
Because this guy has way too many more reps.
Right. But and that's the thing but the thing that worries me, like I said, is his deep ball. I knew, when you watch, there's always a difference between when you watch someone play in a game and when you watch someone individually. You play in a game, if a pass comes up short, a lot of times you could be like, well, it was the line, the wide receiver ran the wrong route. He didn't fully go through his progressions. But when you're just watching him throw, I'll tell you, I was a little concerned about him throwing the ball beyond 30, 40 yards.
To me, he reminds me of Fitzmagic.
Yeah, and a little bit, yeah. Because, like I said, but the problem is, and you have people that want to take him at 7.
No,
and I mean, like I said, I can't sit there and tell you I could take this guy at 7. I could build my franchise around him because I just don't.
We just step with Daniel Jones. I don't want to do that again.
You don't want to do that again? Sure.
No, I don't want to do that again.
Come on, one more time. What's 3 more years? What's 3 more years of being in the dump? See, come on, man. What? You're one of those fans. You just want to win.
I'm fielding phone calls to trade Jones right now.
What do you think?
Oh, Tim, I got a trivia for you too.
Oh, you got a trivia?
I got a trivia for you.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Who is? I guess he will be the first Jones that is also a bust in the first round in the New York Giants. Who would be? What is his first name? And when? And he was drafted in the first round.
He was drafted Cedric Jones.
There you go.
Come on, you got to come up a little more of that. You got to remember, I'm old.
He was fourth overall pick. Remember that?
Oh yeah, trust me.
What happened to it? I remember something happened with his eyes. They blamed the eyes, and
it turned out they found out after they drafted him.
I know.
He was technically legally blind in one eye.
Exactly. Remember, he was wearing that visor because
yes.
They gave him that visor to wear it for like once they found out, and that was going to help him.
I mean, that's going back to say, did the Giants really do their due diligence that this guy turned out to be blind?
Oh my God.
And if I remember, he couldn't see to the left.
Yeah, no, I think it was his left eye. Yeah.
He couldn't see. Now people forget that in the 80s, the Giants took a player, Eric Dorsey, big defensive tackle. And they always made, if you ever looked at Eric Dorsey, and Eric Dorsey was a huge guy. He was an okay player. But if you ever looked at his eyes, they were kind of screwed up. And he actually had a problem with his eyes.
Yeah.
But the Giants back then did their due diligence and understood what his problem was. But the Cedric Jones things, man, that was just like, oh well.
Yeah, that was just bad. Because I mean, but they kept saying this guy was going to be the next Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it though, because people were dropping in the name right away. There's some old timers.
But you see how the Joneses follow us, and especially when they're busts.
Oh yeah, I said this the other day. I said, think about players that we could have had just in the last couple of years in the first round. You could have had Josh Allen, the linebacker, out of Kentucky.
Yep.
You could have had Parsons.
Yeah. You
could have been teaming him up with Ojulari. You could have been teaming him up with Leonard Williams and everyone else that we have. And it's always the hindsight, and it's always the swing and the miss. And I've said this before, especially with Malik Willis, and that's what people don't understand. I say, you take a chance, take a big swing, and people will be like, "Well, we did take a big swing on Daniel Jones." And it's like, no, I personally never thought that we took a big swing on Daniel Jones. I never thought that. I thought, because if you remember, the 2 days before the draft, it came out and said that, well, Daniel Jones is in love with a quarter. Is there someone in the top 10 that loves Daniel Jones? And I remember sitting there going, oh God, please don't be the Giants.
Yeah.
And
I was shocked like everybody else. I was like, who the hell is Daniel Jones?
Did you fall? I mean, after his big 3 games, did you fall in love with Daniel Jones? Because I didn't. I'm probably the only one on YouTube that didn't fall in love with him.
I was cautiously optimistic. I was kind of like, yeah, let's go, DJ. Let's sling it. How could you not? He was slinging it. He was throwing deep passes, especially with Shermer. He was hitting with Slayton. There was even with Ingram. But you definitely, as the year progressed, and then obviously year 2 is just everything fell off the bottom of the face of the earth.
Right. Everything collapsed.
Yeah.
My thing was he had a good game against Tampa. And I said, after he had that great game against Tampa, I said he's going to go down weekly. And he did for the next couple of weeks. Because more and more you get film, he goes down. But then he's like the heartbeat. He's going down, big game, down, big game.
Yeah.
And he always had a big game against lesser competition. And when I said that, again, I was told that I was crazy, that I was told that I didn't know football. But
you were right on. I mean, you kind of saw it for what it was. Some people. I mean, I'm a fan too, and you kind of want to believe. You want to root for the Giants and stuff like that. You want to make it happen. But at the end of the day, I think right now we have to all be very frank with ourselves.
And that's a great way to put it.
Like, he is what he is. It's like the Maya Angelou quote comes to mind. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. And that's who Daniel Jones is. He is going to be a fumbling machine.
Yep.
He doesn't know how to take care of the football, and he can't recognize defense blitzes, and he just stares his number one target and doesn't he cannot go through his progressions and hit the wide open. I mean, it was evident in that Tampa game last year when ESPN just blew his own spot up. It was like Kenny G was like wide open, and he stuck on throwing the ball to, I think, Slayton. I don't know who it was, or Shepard. I can't remember who it was.
There was a couple plays, yes, where he did have Slayton open and he didn't turn. He did not turn and look.
He was just throwing in one, and you just can't have that. You just it's already year 3, so you gotta go through your progressions. You see it. You see how these guys, like Barrow, you can see how everything jumps out. Barrow just goes through 1, 2, boom. There goes the ball.
Now, everyone points out and that's a good question you brought that. Everyone points out that Daniel Jones doesn't have a weapon. Daniel Jones doesn't have the offensive line. Daniel Jones doesn't have all these things. And I always point out there's a guy in Cincinnati who does not have an offensive line, whose line is probably just as bad, if not worse, than ours.
Yep.
And for some unknown reason, everyone makes that excuse for him that he doesn't have this, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have this. Everything has to be perfect. How can in your opinion, can you win with a quarterback where everything has to be perfect?
No, we did it with Eli Manning. Our last Super Bowl, the offensive line was not great, and Eli won us that Super Bowl. I mean, it was basically him because we had an okay running game. Our line was not that great. The best offensive line that I saw was 2008 when Plaxico shot his foot, and they were just, steamrolling through people. That was, like I said, Chris Rock said it best. There's two things though, that there's no sex in the champagne room, and it should be another rule: do not wear sweatpants when you are carrying a firearm into a strip club. Into a club, you don't do that.
You need to. That should be written somewhere.
Yeah, you don't
somewhere on the wall.
Exactly.
At this point,
like I said, you don't like we proved that with Eli. Eli was still okay, but he didn't have the best protection.
No.
It was adequate.
2011, people seem to forget the fact that he did not have. We had one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
I remember Kevin Booth was playing right tackle or something like that, and Kevin Booth is not that good.
Kevin Booth is Matt from Connecticut in my mind.
Oh my God, Kevin Booth is not that good, but they coached him up.
They did. You know what? They made him, and that's the great way to put it. To me, they made Kevin Booth serviceable.
Exactly. Adequate, yeah.
And do you think the Giants can? Everyone talks about the offensive line and how we have to invest the picks in the offensive line, and we have to do this, the offensive line. And I had someone tell me the other day, well, the offensive line is bad because we're not investing. We haven't invested in the offensive line. And I think we've invested in the offensive line quite extensively. I got a trivia question. This is actually a Tyrone trivia question here. This is actually a good one because you brought it up. Trivia question. Who was the GM that drafted Cedric Jones? I know who it is. Do you know who the GM was?
Yeah, that's our friend George Young.
George Young. I got another trivia question, and I'm going to scroll down here because I'm also going to drop in another special guest real quick. Oh, we got a super chat here. Thank you for the super chat. All super chats go to this Philadelphia Children's Hospital. So coaching doesn't matter. Of course, coaching matters. I've said it a million times. Coaching matters.
We just said you need to coach them up, especially.
We just talked about you need to coach them up. There's a player on the same team, on the same year, that Cedric Jones was drafted.
Ooh.
There's a player, and I'm going to let you guys know. There's a player that was drafted not drafted, but it was on the team that same year. And he is not a quarterback, but he's got the name of a quarterback, of a famous quarterback. Does anyone know who it is? Cedric Jones. I'm not going to tell you what year because you got to figure out the year that Cedric Jones was drafted. Even though we already said what year it was. There was a player on that team that was a quarterback, not a quarterback. I should say that, not a quarterback, but had the name of a famous quarterback. Does anyone want to take a guess of that before I drop in our next special guest here? Does anyone want to take a guess of who was the player that was named after a favorite quarterback, our famous quarterback, who was not a quarterback? Dan Jones.
Dan Jones.
No. I'll even give you guys Dan Marino. I'll even give you guys a hint.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
Wrong button.
Gotta get to work. That's right.
Defensive back, Willie Beeman.
Come on, man. Come on.
Everyone forgets defensive back Willie Beeman was on that team.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Everyone forgets.
He got drafted by the Giants. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Everyone forgets Willie Beeman made that team. We're gonna drop in another special guest right here. He's always here. He's writing a book. We know it's going to be a #1 bestseller. We know that if it doesn't happen, the other book he has is going to be another #1 bestseller. It's the T, Brad.
What up,
my man? Who's always here? Who's always repping? Who's always got his Giant stuff and Giants gear? What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, man? I had to get the Sharks a little love with the Sharks motion.
I know you got to do the whole thing, man. You got to do the whole thing.
Sharks, man.
You got to do it all because we're going to be doing it on draft day.
Absolutely. I don't know about this Malik Willis thing, man. He came out looking a little too good. I'm trying to talk to his people, like, calm it down. The thing I always liked about Malik Willis was, like, he's just been a good guy, like a guy you root for. And then when you see when he was giving a guy his clothes, and I'm like, and it wasn't him filming, it was somebody else filming it. You know what I mean? But could it be staged? Who knows? But I don't think that's the guy. I don't think that's his attitude. But I'm hoping we get him, man. I'm hoping we get him. I definitely love the combine, though.
Do you think, though? I mean, evidently, like I said, we're talking to E here, of course.
How you doing, brother?
What's up, brother?
Not much.
Do you think there's any possibility that everything else the Giants are doing is a smokescreen? That what they're looking at right now they're looking at Willie Beeman, Malik Willis. If you want to fit the Josh Allen mode, this is the guy. Accuracy problems, small school, huge upside with talent.
First of all, I hate people talking about small schools. Like, there's so many people of like the top 3 wide receivers of all time. All came from small schools. Jerry Rice, T.O., and Randy Moss. All small schools.
But Marshall's not that small.
In comparison to
Ohio State, yes. Yeah. In comparison like Ohio State or Florida, yeah.
But one thing with your question is, I'm hoping that it is a smooth screen, because one thing I hate as a Giants fan is every year everyone knows who we're in love with. Like the year that everyone knew we loved the guy Floyd, and the Bears just jump up and took him before us. It's like, why does everybody know who we love? Like, we need to start having a loyalty test of who can keep their mouth shut. You know what I mean?
Hopefully that's going to go
and I think that might and I'm hoping that's changing with the new GM and the new culture. I'm hoping they're all over Malik Willis, because now you see the mock drafts with Aquanu, and his stock just went up so much. Aquanu may not be there. Right. The Jets may say, you know what? I like him too.
Oh, I agree. Like I said, now I have my top 51 list here. And where did I put him? Actually, you know what? I actually still have Aquanu at 8 on my list, because I did a little moving around, because I moved some players around. I moved some players up in the list. Not that I don't think that he is going to be a star. I think Neal is going to have a bigger upside immediately. And I actually have Neal at 5 on my prospect list. And like I said, this isn't the prospect list in reference to how players are going to go in the draft. It's just players that I'm ranking in reference to my talent level. Now, I have no problem with Aquano, but like I said, if I'm going anything, you got to me, if I'm going one, I'm going Neal if I'm Jacksonville, because I got to protect Trevor Lawrence. And like I said, if I still think, in my opinion, that Kyle Hamilton is going to roll over to the Jets, because I actually have my top 5 is actually Hutchinson, Kayvon, Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley Jr., and Neal. Those are my top 5. And I always thought those top 5 were interchangeable within the top 4 of the draft. The top 4 spots. I'm not counting the Giants spot, of course.
Sauce is coming up, though.
The problem I have with Sauce is
I like Sauce.
I actually moved him up to 9th on my list.
Love Sauce Gardner.
I like Sauce.
I like Sauce. Here's the problem with Sauce. I'm gonna tell people the problem with Sauce right now. There's nowhere to go in regards to Sauce in some ways, in fans' perspective, but down. Because the moment that he gives up a touchdown, it's going to be, he's not as good as we thought he was going to be because he gave up a touchdown.
He's Eli Apple. Watch.
And he's a little handsy. I'm going to say that he's a little handsy. I said this about Eli Apple. He's a little handsy.
It fits.
Well, wasn't there another cornerback who supposedly didn't give up a touchdown? I think we drafted him, DeAndre Baker.
Yes.
Wasn't that the big thing on him? Like, he didn't give up a touchdown all year.
All year didn't give up a touchdown. And that, man, like I said, Sauce to me is coming up because of, and this is what happens, and this is what always happens before the draft. Everyone looks at the film. And what they do is they only look at, you go on YouTube, you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you see the highlights. You never see the thing. No one ever posts, except for Malik Willis, the things that they have done wrong, the assignments that they have missed, the plays that broke down that you don't know about. No one. Oh, we lost E there. Let's see if he comes back. But no one ever sees the things that were done wrong. They only see the good things. And I think a lot of times you're in your mind, T-Brad, you think to yourself, you kind of just forget, and the certain things kind of dissipate a little bit, and all you remember is the good. And that's why I worry about that's what's happening, right? There's always a guy that's fast runs up the charts before the draft. And I think that's going to be, look at Patrick Surtain Jr. He was another cornerback that ran up the charts. What's his name? The kid that went to the Lions 2 years ago.
Oh, Okuda. But
yeah.
I'm a Michigan fan. I never really saw it out of Okuda like that. You can be on a good defense, and because they're getting to the quarterback, you don't have to make many plays as a cornerback.
Right.
You know what I mean? I see that a lot. Like Sauce Gardner, I don't think is that case. I think Sauce Gardner really is the goods, but I don't see us drafting him. Yeah,
he's 6'2", he's 188. To me, he is going to be a cover guy. Unless he puts some weight on him, he's going to be a cover guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Deion Sanders was a cover guy. Deion Sanders, especially early in his career, didn't want to put his head into the pile. And that's what I worry about with Sauce.
Well, you know what? If I can get a Deion Sanders, he won't have to tackle.
Well, I'm not saying he's Deion.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying if we can get that kind of coverage, I'm not worried about how good you tackle.
Let me see if I can add my let me see if I can add my top 51. Oh yeah, you can see this a little bit better. You can see this is actually the list I have. And like I said, I've done a list, and these are the guys these are my 51 to 31 on the list, and this is after the combine. I don't know if you can see the list there, T-Brad.
I'm listening.
And like I said, I've seen, in my mind, some guys have gone up
31 to 51.
31 to 51. To me, some guys have gone up on the list. And like I said, I moved some guys down on the list. But like I said, some of the people that I think in my mind are dropping exponentially. Who remembers Prince Amukamara? I do. Is that you beeping?
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. I'm in the house by myself, so I really have no idea.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, my smoke alarm. We lost it. So we have some guys that, like I said, I think Matt Carroll's dropping. I moved him down to 31. I do think Carson Strong. I had Carson Strong up a little higher, but I actually dropped him down to 37. And then I moved up Zion Johnson. So I think Zion Johnson is going to be an interesting prospect. And I do think that he is going to move up a little bit more into the list. So I think he may even potentially slip into the lower half of the first round. T-Brad is back. I was just going through my list, T-Brad. I was just talking about Zion Johnson, interior lineman out of Boston College.
Right.
And I was just talking how I have actually moved him up to 34th on my list. Because I like I said, I always have this affinity for Boston College guys. Some guy named Chris something or other married the coach's daughter, and he became a stud for us when we drafted him. So I mean, maybe that's the reason why I have an affinity for him. Now I did drop Christian Harris down a little bit from Alabama. I moved him down a couple spots, and I think that Christian Harris is a guy to me that I actually like in the draft, and I think it's someone that potentially the Giants could nab in the second round. But like I said, I'm just gonna leave this up here. Like I said, this is my list of 51 to 31 of the players. And like I said, I don't know if anyone's got a question on the list. If anyone wants to talk about anyone on the list, like I said, a lot of people love Zion. I love Zion. I had Zion down about 48. And then after doing a little bit more research and a little bit, gathering a little bit more information, that I think that he is going to be a guy that's going to come up the board a little bit. Now, the question is to you, T-Brad. Is there anyone right now? How much of the combine did you get? Did you get to watch any of the combine?
I think I watched probably the second day with the wideouts.
The wideouts,
that was probably the wideouts and quarterbacks. I think that was probably the big, eye-popping day. But that's really all I really got to watch.
Now, my question, was there anyone that you had or anyone at the combine, even if it was just in the wide receiver session, was there anyone that you saw that you thought either helped themselves or hurt themselves going into the combine? Because like I said, I think Pickett hurt himself.
For me, one person who really helped themselves, some people were just really like verifying who they were. Some people were verifying who they were. Like, oh, I don't know if I like this guy. I don't like that guy. I can't wait to see what numbers they run. Some people were verifying who they were. And again, going with the small college guys, the guy Watson out of, I think, North Dakota State, like 6'4", ran like a 4.3 something. He really helped himself. He really, really helped himself. He was looking like a fringe 2 guy to now possibly in the first round. And like, he was somebody I was looking for the Giants, because I told you I think the Giants need a wide receiver. Yes. He was somebody I really, really was hoping that would be hanging around in the third round, and nobody kind of knew about the kid. And he's good, man. He's phenomenal. He makes catches. I think Sky Moore out of Western Michigan really helped himself.
I was actually going to say that one, yes.
Yeah, Sky Moore really helped himself. People who probably hurt themselves, wideout was probably Bell from Purdue. He didn't have the type of – he looked better on tape than he tested.
And I think – and I think that yeah. And like I said, I take it with a grain of salt, the combine. I take the pro days with a grain of salt because like I said, it's a snapshot in time. People get mad at me because they say, well, you also said the other day that you don't take into account college stats. Because I don't, because, it's a difference between playing against Alabama than playing against Sister Mary of the Poor. You may have 20 tackles against, Eastern Michigan, Dakota State, and have 6 against Florida. So no, I never look at statistics because of the fact that they're so misleading. I always look at the athleticism. I look at what players do right and what they do wrong. And I think that a lot of it, in a lot of NFL teams, that's how they judge players. They don't sit there and go, well, this guy had 41 pressures.
Almost sacks? 41 almost sacks?
They've had 41.
King of the almost sack.
I got the soundboard up. And running. But they don't look at, the pressures. They look at their athleticism. They look at how they fit the system. Now, I know you and I are big Malik Willis fans. We're Malik Willis guys.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad. Do you think, though, in all honesty, do you think there's always hope. There's always a chance. Do you think there's any potential that the Giants take a look at him and say, and that secretly the Shane is in love with him? And I don't think secretly he is. I think he is in love with him. But
I think that when there's smoke, there's fire. And if somebody keeps saying that this GM, like, and again, you can't deny the fact that he's had him scouted in Buffalo.
Right.
When they
Twice.
didn't need when they didn't need a quarterback. So why are you looking at somebody you don't need? It doesn't make sense, not to me. So when I look at us as a possibility, I say yes, but I think he's going to probably look at the best deals he can make for the Giants. Like, let's say we get to 5 and Malik's there, and Malik kills it at his pro day, and we got teams looking to throw a boatload of stuff at us for them to jump up and get Malik. He may have no choice but to take that because we both agree that Malik is a boom or bust prospect. We're either going to get the next Lamar Jackson or the next RG3. So it's kind of what do you want here? And I think there's a possibility if nobody's willing to trade. We have to see where some of these free agent quarterbacks go to see who's still in the market for a quarterback. But I think we'll grab him.
I think so too. Someone had just mentioned Jordan Davis, so I kind of wanted to throw up my my top 31-1 overall for these are my top prospects, and I actually moved Jordan Davis up the list. I actually moved him up to 14. Of course, he's the 6'6", 340-pound defensive tackle out of Georgia. We gotta love the Georgia guys. You always gotta love the Georgia guys.
Always,
especially on this team. And so basically, like I said, these are not the players I think they're going to be drafted in their positions. These are the players I'm ranking in reference to talent. And like I said, I got Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Hamilton, Stingley, Neal, Lloyd, and and so on and so on. And like I said, I actually moved up Dean a little bit to number 11, and I've actually moved Devin Lloyd, and I've seen Devin Lloyd move up on the draft board as well. I actually moved Devin Lloyd up to 6. I had him around 14, but I think if you actually go, and I think a lot of scouts now are really going through some of his film and going through what his tendencies are and what he does well athletically, and I think they have a feeling that he may be able to fill. Not only especially for the Giants, but he could fill the speed role for the Giants. Because I've already said if the Giants don't go Willis, I would want to go Kayvon and Lloyd. I've fixed my defense. And then I could go offense the rest of the draft, and I can go offense in free agency. And I could get, someone. I mean, because like I said, I moved Trevor Penning up a little bit. From Northern Iowa. He's 6'7", 321 pounds, the big offensive tackle. I've actually moved him up. He's a guy I think the Giants could probably grab again early in the second round. So like I said, I think these are, like I said, if we didn't go Willis, these are the guys that I would want. Like I said, I still would want to go deep. And I know people think I'm crazy because like I said, I got comments the other day, you're neglecting the line. No, we haven't neglected the line in years. We keep throwing money and draft choices at the line. We keep missing.
Solder, yeah. We're not neglecting the line. We're picking the wrong people for the line.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Solder, Matt Parrott. The one draft, I think he picked like 4 offensive linemen in one draft. I'm like, dude, you like overdid it. You really overdid it at the one position in the draft, and you got no studs out of it.
No, and I think that's the big problem. We swing and miss.
Yeah, too many of them. Hopefully we start hitting, making some contact.
Yeah, we got to do something. We got to get, and that's why I'm hoping that Deshane gets something right. Now, I will tell you, like I said, I moved Pickett down to 22nd, and I actually moved Malik up to 7 on the list. And I've already said that like I said, in my mind, Malik's value outside of looking at teams positionally is probably 7 to 10 in this. If you're going to look at draft spots. But we all know you don't draft on draft spots. Sometimes you have to draft on value, and sometimes you have to draft on a need. That's why I get worried about the Lions snatching him up at 2, or even Carolina taking him at 6. But like I said, I do think that Malik fits between the 7 and the 10 spot if you're looking in the draft. Yeah. So that's why I kind of moved him. And I actually had him, which is funny. I had Malik a little higher on the list. I had him at 6. But I moved him down a little bit because, like I said, I'm ranking this off of talent, not needs of an organization. Because, like I said, Malik, if Jacksonville needed a quarterback, they could take Malik at 1. So but I don't think he is the best. I don't think he is the most talented player. I think Hutchinson, in my mind, I don't know about you, T, but I still think in my mind, he still has the highest upside. Some, people always point out to the play in the bowl game where he got put on his back. Who hasn't been put on their back? Who hasn't had a bad play? I mean,
I tell you what, Georgia's nasty, man. Georgia's nasty. I don't think, even with them playing as good as they did with Ohio State, this Georgia team from like week 6, I thought was going to win it all. And they just played hard and nasty. And every player has a bad play. Like Michael Jordan was dunked on by John Starks. Like, how many times do we talk about John Starks in terms of all-time great? Everyone can have great moments. Doesn't make you a great player. Exactly. So I think Hutchinson, and again, I'm a little biased because I'm a Michigan fan, but I think Hutchinson is definitely the upside, the hardworking guy that you want. He reminds me so much of J.J. Watt. He reminds me of him a little bit. And I think a team would be silly not to take him. But I will understand why Jacksonville didn't take him. But when you're talking about Detroit taking Willis at number 2, I think Detroit has no choice if Hutchinson's on the board but take him and keep him in Michigan. I think they don't have – I think the pressure of – because if you swing and miss for Malik Willis, GM's job is on the table, head coaching job is on the table. Some of these people have to draft for their job. Yep. You know what I mean? So if you look back 5 years later and Malik Willis is a bust and Hutchinson is killing it, then you're going to be fired. But if you grab Hutchinson and Hutchinson's a bust, you'd be like, hey, I grabbed the best guy at the time, and this is who everybody thought was the best. So me and everybody got that wrong.
Yep. And I think Jeffrey Abbey said this perfectly. Linebacker with range and ball hawking ability. Amen. When have the Giants had that?
Wow.
You can't even go back to you can't. Oh, Michael Barrow.
Antonio Pierce, maybe?
You can't even go back to Antonio Pierce because Antonio Pierce was a middle linebacker. He was more of a Harry Carson type.
Yeah, he couldn't.
I mean, if you look at to me, and I'm not comparing Devin Lloyd to Carl Banks because to me, Carl Banks is a Hall of Famer who's not there yet, hasn't made it in yet. Right. But Carl Banks had that ability to cover. And people forget about that. He had that ability, not only play to run, but he also could play the tight end. And we haven't seen that. Someone said Jesse Armstead. Yeah, Jesse was a good linebacker. Jesse was a great linebacker for the Giants.
Yeah, I love Jesse Armstead out of Miami.
Jesse at people, and again, I think memory, I think when things fade, people forget that Jesse did have some problems in coverage at times. Now he was not like some of the other linebackers we had, but he did have some coverage issues once in a while. But he was great at going sideline to sideline and roaming the field. But he did move some. Now Michael Barrow is actually someone that you guys brought up. That was going way back, not that far back. But he actually did play similar style that, and he only had a blip of a career for the Giants. But he was a great tackler. That's why I love Mike. He was a fantastic tackler.
He finished the tackle.
But like I said, I have to go back to Carl Banks to find a guy that could play the run and cover the tight end and understand his assignment. And I think that's what Devin Lloyd is going to do. Jeff Newman's got a great question. Does Kenny Pickett equal Mac Jones?
Ooh.
To me, and I'll start off on that one. To me, Mac Jones he's benefiting from a system in New England. If he would have gone anywhere else, I don't think he would be successful. That's
I agree 100%.
That's when people talk about Slater, Rashawn Slater, how I got that pick wrong. Do you think Slater would be people like the damn video. Like the video. My likes are way down. I just got the thing. Like the video. Got 90 people, 100 people in the room. Like the damn video.
Before you enter, just hit the like button.
Right. Thank you. T. Brad's going to yell. I get so enthralled and so wound up. I never talk about likes and clicks and bleeps and boops because I just do this for the fun. But I said if Mac Jones would have gone anywhere else, I don't think he would have succeeded. I think the same thing with Slater. If Slater was on the Giants, I guarantee he would not have the same success that he would have had that he had right now with the Duck as his quarterback.
Well, I think now here's we're going to be on opposite ends because I absolutely love Rashawn Slater. I was praying that we took Rashawn Slater, but
all right, so you know what? We're not going to have him in the chat anymore. T. Brad is gone. We lost his connection.
yeah, but
what do you know? You don't disagree with me. You've watched the show. You know this.
But I love Rashawn Slater. But I think him as a player would have been successful. But I don't think the Giants themselves would have been successful because of our quarterback's ability to just look at one wide receiver for about 7 seconds.
Right.
And that's more of a quarterback issue rather than a Rashawn Slater issue. But I still think that trading back was the move, even though we had Micah Parsons there, because now we have 2 first-round picks. So I'm cool with that. And are you cool with that? And it's already happening. Are you cool with that though? If Devontae Smith and Parsons go on to have Hall of Fame careers, and we swing and a miss on these 2 picks, and Justin Fields turns out to be another, a great quarterback, because I love Justin Fields. I had no qualms about telling people that I would have potentially drafted Justin Fields. Yeah, I think the Cardinals set the precedence to do that type of stuff. Hey, this quarterback's not working. Give me another one. No, obviously with the the way you set up that situation, if they're getting studs and we're getting duds, no, I don't want that just to have the opportunity to swing and miss twice. No, but I mean, I'm cool with always gathering more draft capital so you can move up or down on the board how you want, year in, year out. I dare to say this, but the Philadelphia Beagles, they do a great job of moving up and down the board. They got 3 picks this year. I would love to be able to trade 7 to Philly and get 2 of their first rounders. I'd love to be able to do that, no matter who's on the board.
You just can't trade within the division.
Yeah.
Even
if we get 2 guys, even if we get 2. Okay,
listen,
I'll run a like you.
Here's my only thought about trading within the division. This has always been my thought. The only thing that can be good trading within the division, if both teams, and this doesn't happen all the time, if both teams nail the picks, and that's what happened last year. Both teams, the Cowboys and the Eagles, nailed their picks, and I also think they did it to nail the Giants a little bit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Draft, babe. Draft.
I don't know where she said is.
That's what she said.
There we go. Well, I was talking about nailing things. But that's the thing.
That was crazy to me.
Unless you're going to rock it out, I think you can't, because what if you trade that pick? Here's my biggest fear. We traded down and we got Kadarius Toney. What if Kadarius Toney is out of the league? And like I said, and again, Fields, Parsons, and Smith, 3 guys we could have had.
And no, Smith we didn't have a chance to because the Eagles traded up and got him.
But I'm just saying if they didn't, if the Eagles and the Cowboys didn't make that trade.
Okay.
We could have potentially, you could be potentially looking at, like, could you imagine number 11? Well, you can't wear number 11 because it's Phil Simms' number. And we all know you can't wear a retired person's number because if you did, you get yelled at. Could you imagine?
He went to a big school. Phil Simms went to a big school.
Yeah. Morehead State.
Yeah, he went to.
I don't even think Morehead State plays football. And Phil Simms had like 1,300 yards, 7 interceptions, and like 7 touchdowns, like 19 interceptions his senior year. But he went to a big school. But I just personally cannot trade within the division itself.
Sometimes, I understand the logic because the last thing you want them to do is trade up, get the guy that we liked in Lloyd, and Lloyd becomes a poor man's Ray Lewis, which is still damn good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zach's got a question for you. At 5, this is a great question because I would even have to think about this. If Neal, Malik, and Lloyd are there, who do you take?
If this is me, I honestly take, and this is going to be funny, I'm gonna take Malik Willis. And before you get hyped up and say, "Oh man, this guy's just too in love with Malik Willis," and it's easy because we pick at 7.
On the board, the Malik Willis Express.
Sorry.
It's easy, no problem. It's easy for me to take Malik at 5 because we pick at 7. So whoever's left over, whether it be Neil or Lloyd, will be there. It's a little strategy right there because I know at 6, Carolina needs a quarterback.
Yep.
So last thing I want to do is not get the quarterback. They take the guy we want, and then we're like, damn, we got Neil or Lloyd, but I'd rather have Malik in that situation. But if we get 2 of the 3 on that list, we're living.
We're golden. Like I don't think Neil's gonna fall below, I don't think they're gonna fall below 1. But to your point, either way, like I said, and this is why I've said before, you can take what's that? What did I miss? Uh-oh. T-Brad is paused. I have not taken. There's T-Brad. There he is. He's
okay.
back.
I think my internet just acted stupid for a second.
That's all right. My theory is the same as yours, and that's why they always tell me I'm crazy when I said you could take Malik at 5, because of the fact that you're right. Let's say you take Malik at 5, more than likely Devin Lloyd's still going to be there.
Yep.
You could have Sauce Gardner there. You could have Dean, Ajobu. You could have your pick of anyone you really want. Again, only one pick away, because what are the odds that the Carolina Panthers are going to take 7 guys with the 6th pick that you may want?
Yep.
So that's what I think is going to. I had a question for you, because this is a guy that I think is dropping. To me, he's rising on other people's charts, but mine, he's kind of staying stagnant or dropping a little bit. Is Charles Cross out of Mississippi State, offensive tackle, 6'5", 305 pounds, big kid. They say he might be the best pure pass blocker in the draft. What do you have any thoughts on Cross? Because I know a lot of people in some ways have the Giants going Cross at 7.
I'd rather trade back at 7. If whoever we take at 5, only way I keep the 7 pick, in my opinion, is if we draft Malik Willis. If the Malik Willis Express is taken at 5, that's the only way I keep 7, because I want to get somebody right there for him. I'd rather trade back. Like, say we're at 7 and Cross is there. I'd rather trade back, because there are too many people who I feel like they're on the same tier as Cross as an offensive lineman. I think you've got Ekwonu, Neil at tier 1, and everybody else is under that tier, in my opinion. So I just think Cross is a good, again, pass blocker, but we still got to make holes for the run game, and obviously they're going to be worked on, coached up to be better. But I'm all in on trading the 7th pick and dropping down and getting whatever capital we can get this draft. Another 2nd, another 3rd. I'm in.
Right. This is a good question from Pandemonium. Number 2. Do you think, and this is always, and I know where we're going with this, this is always the racial question. This is always and I never shy away from talking about race. People, I don't know why. I just don't, because I'm stupid. And I think everyone is the same. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, brown, or purple. I think people are just people. I never look at
I've never met a green or purple person, but if I do,
you'll let me know.
Nervous.
Well,
hey, a little nervous.
I've never been a big Star Trek fan, but if you go back to the old Star Trek, Captain Kirk is always nailing green women. He's got no problem. So Kirk was the ultimate. So there are some green women, I think. But you know what?
Mind if I take this one?
I'm actually setting it up for you.
Go for it. Go ahead.
This is called setting it up. I'm setting it up for you.
Okay,
this is always going to be the question. And like I said, a lot of people shy away from these questions. I don't, because of the fact that I think it needs to be talked about, because if you go back into the annals of Giants history, you've never had a black head coach. You've never drafted a black quarterback. You've never started a black quarterback outside of Geno Smith. Teams in your division have had either 2 or 3 black quarterbacks and head coaches, and you have never had one. But I personally don't think the Giants are inherently racist, but that's coming from my perspective. What is the T-Brad perspective about? Do you think Mara will allow Joe to take Willis?
First of all, let me set this off because I don't know how many people are just listening. I'm black, and some of my best friends are black. I got a lot of black friends.
Wait a minute. You're black?
Yes, all day.
Oh my God.
Hours.
Didn't know this. You need to tell people these things beforehand.
I'm sorry. At least you didn't kick me out. But
you're not dumb.
One thing that people have to understand when you take this race thing, understand what you mean when you're saying racism and they're not going to draft a black quarterback and they're not going to have a black coach. Both things are true, but you kill that argument just a little bit. You minimize that argument by saying, we had a black GM. Mm-hmm. Not many. There's plenty of teams in the league that had black quarterbacks, black coaches, maybe for a year or whatever. How many have had black GMs?
Yeah. So
to say the organization is racist and they have a black GM, you need to pull that back in. Now, maybe they're not used to athletic quarterbacks and quarterbacks who play the game that way. And maybe it's not a race thing. It's more of a style thing because most black quarterbacks are using their legs. They're Malik Willis type quarterbacks as opposed to Byron Leftwich type quarterbacks. So for me, I think you pull the race out, and I just think the Mariners want to win.
Right.
We've been linked to the Jets, and anytime you're linked to being near what the Jets have been, it's time to get out of that level of playing. So I think Mariners going to let Shane do what Shane thinks he needs to do. I think that's what happened with Flores and Dabo. I think when you go back there and everybody's like, oh, we didn't hire him because he's black. No, I think we hired Shane. Look, I have never been a coach before in the league ever. If I was a coach, you don't think I'm going to hire someone I know, black, white, or whatever? I'm going to hire someone I know.
You're going to win or lose with the guy you know.
Exactly. At least I know you're not BSing me at the interview process because I've actually seen you. You ever interview somebody for a job? Oh, yeah, I'm the guest worker, blah, blah, blah. 5 months into their job, they're calling off Fridays and Mondays. So at least with that, they know, Shane knows who he has and Dabo, and he's going to win or lose with his guys. So I think Mariners going to let Shane make the pick of Willis if that's what he wants to do. But I don't think Shane is locked in on Willis either. Like, if we don't pick Willis, don't think it's because Mara told Shane no. I think Shane was like, I think this deal might work a little bit better and we can go with Jones. Because either way, Jones is on a prove-it deal.
Yep.
If we draft a quarterback or not, Jones is on a prove-it deal.
100%. I mean, and that's and Levant says this dude is spitting facts.
Thanks,
and that's what you are. And like I said, I don't think that. And like I said, this is coming from just my perspective. I agree with you. I think that I liked Brian Flores. I wanted Brian Flores because I wanted a coach that had experience. I didn't want a black coach that had experience. I wanted a coach that had experience. And that's what I was always aiming for. I was just worried about, and T-Brad is frozen again, but I'm going to talk for a minute. I was just worried about grabbing another coach who has I was just saying, T-Brad, you back? T-Brad.
I got no volume, so I don't know what's going on.
I can hear you.
Pop out and come back.
Yeah, pop out and come back in. That's probably the best way to do it.
I read your lips say pop out and come back in. Hold on, let me see. It must be.
So what I'm thinking is the fact that, and we're going to drop up the top 51 again. What I'm thinking of the fact is that I just didn't want a guy again that was going to come in here and have to learn on the job. And T-Brad is back, which is, no, we lost T-Brad again. I just don't want a guy to come here and learn on the job again. And I see a lot of Malik Willis going in here too. And I see, let's see here. Let's go with some of these things. You could write it down. And if I'm wrong, I have no qualms about admitting it. I'm not the guy. That he's not the guy, Malik. Well, I'm going to call you out about that, Maximus. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If this, because if some people are saying I don't see the hype or don't understand the hype in Malik Willis. and then you have to see. Oh, T-Brad, you're back.
Yes.
I was just talking about Maximus here was saying that he doesn't understand the hype about Malik Willis. He says you could write it down, and if I'm wrong, I have no qualms about admitting it. But Malik's not the guy. And I got a couple other people saying the same thing, that Malik isn't the guy. And it's and even Jeffrey says Malik might be a bust, but what is 8 right now? What is he? He's a bust. Daniel Jones is a bust, and that's the thing. And maybe from your perspective with Malik Willis, you could pontificate about this. You and I have said it just multiple moments ago that he's either going to be a star or he's a Kiwi Smith. He's going to be there's going to be no middle ground, I think, with Malik. And I've said that a million times. But in your eyes, in your opinion, in the T-Brad opinion, what do you think that you see that you could pontificate to some people in the chat that makes Malik Willis special enough to take at 5 or 7 or even 2?
First of all, I got to give a little history. When we first started quarterbacks, me and Tim, I said, Tim, I like Pickett. And Tim said, hey, I like Willis. I said, it's boom bust. I'm not too sure. And I watched both. I had already watched both guys play. But I started falling in love with the cannon of Malik Willis and the fact that he's able to extend plays. Some of the best quarterbacks in today's football, it's not that they're taking off like Michael Vick. It's the fact that they're extending plays. Even Barrow, his big thing is he's not fast like that. He just extends plays and uses his arm to make plays when they need to happen. So if you look at Malik Willis' stats, if you're just eyeballing his stats, they're not impressive. And I get it. But we're, first of all, a team with a quarterback who's been here 3 years, who's shown no sign of getting any better in any aspect of the game. And that's sad. And we always say, we're doing the best thing for the organization, the best thing for the organization. The best thing for the organization is to have a leader and a quarterback who can get the job done. We both agree that grabbing Malik Willis is not starting day one.
Yep.
It's, hey, let's sit you down. Let's get you used to multiple reads, how to use your legs and arm at the same time. Like, I wish I was on this channel the year we drafted Saquon Barkley, who I loved. I said as early as number 2, because I didn't like any of the quarterbacks in that draft except 2 guys. I liked Josh Allen and I liked Lamar Jackson. And somebody's like, oh, you're going to take Lamar Jackson and one of the Facebook groups, you're an idiot if you take Lamar Jackson number 2 overall. Seems like that idiot was right now. But it was just one of those things where you don't want to blow a number 2 pick. And I get it. But you got to go with what – if you really think that you can cultivate this guy to be a team leader and a franchise quarterback, you do it.
Yeah. You do it 100%. Now we got Ramon here. Was a good question though. He goes, Cross, really a reach? He looks like another Thomas. Here's my thing about Cross. I'm not saying Cross is a bad player. I still have Cross in the top 25. Yeah. But I'm not going to compare him to Andrew Thomas. I think Thomas was the most pro-ready lineman coming out of the draft, and I've said that a million times, and I've always said it. Don't just focus on year 1. Wait till year 3 before you make your judgment about these tackles that came out that year.
Right. And you know where I draft Cross? I draft Cross around the same spot you draft Linderbaum. That's about where I draft Cross.
Because I have Linderbaum. I moved Linderbaum down to 18 on my list. And I'm not saying you can't. And like I said, I'm not saying there's been hardly any centers. I think there was only one recently has been drafted in the top 10 because it's not a positional value, because you can get a center later in the draft. You can get, because he's an anchor guy. So he's an interior lineman. And to me, Linderbaum's a little undersized. And I've said it before, unless you know your draft, and people will compare him to Creed Humphreys, but unless in my mind, you're drafting a Dwight Stevenson that went to Miami, Hall of Famer, that you know is going to be a Dwight Stevenson, and Dwight Stevenson went in the second round. You can't take an interior lineman, a center, in the top 10. That's just me.
Nope.
And T-Brad just shakes his head.
Nope, absolutely not. And the thing is, it sounds good to say we're going to fix, because sometimes we look at these players, every year there's a top 10 bust.
Yeah.
Every year there's a top 10 bust. Every year there's somebody who gets picked in the second or third round who should have literally been a top 10 pick. But again, one thing that I think we both agree on is please not 2 first round picks on offensive linemen. Please. I'm begging. Our defense needs too much help.
100%. I've posted the StreamYard link in the chat. So if anyone else wants to jump in a moment and has a question for myself or T-Brad, we'll have some people bring in, Sometimes we get some good questions. I'm looking for Maris Carpenter. We haven't seen Maris Carpenter in a while. He's always got some great questions. But I just dropped in the chat. If you want to come in for a few minutes in the yard stream, I ask myself or the T-Brad a question. T-Brad, do you have time to hang in for a little bit? Or are you, I don't know what you're
Why not?
It's your time, man. I don't want to take advantage of your time.
We're good, man. I cleared the books, man. And this is my favorite time of the year. It's draft time. I may have to just move my family and say, hey, be quiet. I'm on the phone. But besides that, I'm good.
We like families. We like families coming on the show. We had OGR's kids on the other day. They were eating mac and cheese, and I think they were going to get some chicken nuggets, if I remember properly, because he was feeding them dinner. Highest paid center. Whoops, wait, this is a good question by Jeffrey. Let's see here. Highest paid center if we choose Tyler Linderbaum. That's a good idea. No, of course Jeffrey's right. It's not a good idea. It's just I don't know. And I don't know about you, T-Brad, but I think in my mind, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, let me know. And I promise I won't drop you out of the chat. I think some people get enamored with a name. Not necessarily the talent, not necessarily what they can do on the field, but they see a name like Tyler Linderbaum, and they say, oh my God, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Why?
Right.
Are you basing this off of facts, or are you just basing it off the name Tyler Linderbaum and that he played center at a high level at Iowa? Well, I mean, is it the name or is it, and I know some people don't look at the talent. They do just look at the name, but what do you think in regards to that?
I think it's a combination of things. First of all, there's only one center everybody's talking about, so you're going to hear his name more than anybody.
Good point.
Who right now, who's the second best center? Ready, go. I'll look in the chat. Nobody's still here talking about any other center.
This is a great question. Great question. This is a great question. Who is the second best center in the draft?
You can tell me the second best linebacker. You can tell me the second best offensive tackle, the second best quarterback, whoever. But who's the second best center? I don't even know who it is, but just go. And I think that's one reason why his name is just going like that. Another thing, his athletic, like for people where it's just not about the name, it could be these things. One, Iowa puts up pretty good offensive linemen. They do a great job of it. Two, Linderbaum's athleticism. That's what I think people are falling in love with. His ability to pull and do all kinds of things. If you are falling in love with them, I understand the tape. Damn it, stop saying tape. We use film now, digital. No more tapes. So when you watch, that's your Joe Judge.
That's your Joe Judge stuck in your head.
Yeah, I gotta stop saying tape. But when you watch the film on the person, you really see something that you like. Man, look, this guy's pulling. This guy's doing this. He's doing that. And if you got no other names to name, of course you're gonna say Linderbaum. You're not gonna say give me 2 tackles. You're gonna say give me this tackle, give me this center. Who's the center?
Right.
It's the Linderbaum.
And that's the thing. It's also, to me, the name. If his name was like, and I'm not trying to make a joke of this. If his name was Bob Johnson, do you think people would be so enamored with Bob Johnson over Tyler Linderbaum?
Okay, I'm gonna throw a movie reference out here.
I like movie references.
You talk about OG Bobby Johnson?
Yeah.
Deuce Bobby Johnson? South Central.
Oh, oh my God.
OG Bobby Johnson.
Oh my God! I had to think about. You actually stumped me for a second.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know how many youngins here don't know that movie.
Well,
so.
it was funny. I had to think about that for a second. I even had to think about it. So no one else is gonna know what the hell we're talking about. I always tell people Google it.
Yeah, South Central is the movie.
It is the movie, but that's why I said people. I haven't seen South Central in years.
Yeah, but I think people like the name. I mean, yeah, Bomb by Linderbaum. There's so many different, yeah, Pancake by Linderbaum. It's a cool sounding name. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think from a marketing perspective, I think that's too funny. You just brought up South Central. That just cracked me up. That just cracked me up because I forgot about that movie, man. I was watching Presidents the other day with what's his name with Tate. Which was another movie a lot of people don't watch is Dead Presidents. That's actually another good movie. I just watched it
all the time.
I just watched that the other day.
Yeah, that scene in the pool hall when he comes back. I love that scene.
People forget about that. Let's see here. Just joined. Hate you both on the board with talking. Hate you both on board with what? Why are you hating with talking Willis? What?
Don't block him.
I'm not gonna block him. I'm not going to block him.
Don't block him.
I know him. He's been on before. I just don't understand the comment.
I'd love to know not why you hate it, because you've mentioned that. What do you think's better?
Oh, you wrote didn't mean to hate. Didn't mean to hate. Okay. I was
mean to say hate.
Yeah.
Disagree, and that's fine. We're here to agree and disagree,
right?
Respectfully. So, what's a better option for you? What's a better? Because here's the worst thing that can happen, in my opinion. The worst thing is we don't get a quarterback this draft. We just don't get a quarterback. We address a lot of issues, and we're like a mid-level team. Like we win 7 games, and we come in next year. We don't have a quarterback because we really know at that point we may know that Daniel Jones isn't the guy. He's got the line. He's got all the weapons he needs, and he's just not the guy. He's not getting the wins. And we only win 7 games. How do we get up to get the quarterbacks that are coming out next year, Stroud or Bryce Young?
Well, that's the thing. You never know what's going to go with these guys next year. We've talked about this. You don't know.
Yep. Worst thing that can happen is we don't get a quarterback this year. We put all. I mean, this is my big thing with Daniel Jones. He's shown nothing for us to go all in like in rounders. He's shown nothing to show us to just put all our chips in on him and say, yeah, we're good. Nothing to show that we should be all in on the guy. If you got a tire that's about to go flat, you better have a daggone spare. And that's how we got to treat this Daniel Jones situation, my opinion.
That's another Rounders, another good dropping another good movie reference.
Oh, I thought
it was me and James Williams that are always dropping the movie references.
Oh, I got them all day.
Oh my God. I got a trivia question for you. In the movie Breakin', the character Turbo, what is his real name? What's his real name? Or what's his street name?
Boogaloo Shrimp.
Yeah.
The Boogaloo Shrimp.
All right.
I went and seen Breakin' in a drive-in. I seen Breakin'
2, Electric Boogaloo.
I seen Breakin', Beat Street, and Wild Style at the same drive-in for like $3.
Oh wow.
Good times.
That's a good one. That was what I used to love Breakin'. I used to love that movie.
Yes, good times.
I knew all the names, and people used to be crazy because how do you know that? I'm like, well, it's a trivia question. Of course I'm going to know the name. If you are T. Brad's in charge of the Giants.
Oh man.
You are in charge. We're still about 7 million over the cap. Shocking, I know as that is. We have to get down to under the cap by 4 p.m. March 16th. You still have some work to do. We save more money if we trade James Bradberry. We save more money than we would if we cut him. Cap right. Do you trade? And Zach is right. We're not going to. We have to be under for the rule of 51. But would you trade James Bradberry for the right package knowing that you are probably going to open a huge hole up at your CB1 position. And I've said this before. Everyone's for cutting people. Everyone's for trading people. But the problem is you have to remember, even if you do that, you still have to find someone to play that role. And you may only have $4 million to get another CB1.
One thing we have to do is we got to get under the cap regardless. And we have to look for, because we have to make sure we're never here again. So if we trade Bradbury, it's a chance for the young guy that everybody fell in love with. His name Williams. We grabbed him in the 3rd round.
Right.
It's a chance for him to play. Adoree Jackson still has a lot of money. Who's the other guy we drafted out of UCLA? He played slot.
Darnay Holmes.
Yeah, I really liked him. I think he's a dog. I really like him. So I think if we trade James Bradbury, we're probably not going to get more than a 4th or 5th round pick for him because everyone knows we got to dump him. But I think you make the move. I think you make the move because it's not like we're one corner away.
We have don't fudge Ripple the offensive line in round 1. Oh my God. What's up, greatness? I forgot all about the fudge Ripple. I forgot all about the fudge Ripple. That was just a comment from a couple streams back.
I was like, okay, I don't know who Fudge Ripple is.
No, I was talking about you don't want to draft vanilla. And we want to draft, you say we have to draft some fudge Ripple. Because I was saying, Giants they kind of always draft vanilla, the Giants do at times. A last trivia question for you, T. Brad.
Uh-oh.
In the movie House Party 3.
Oh, I'm good.
What famous musical group is in that movie?
Well, you got
famous.
TLC.
There you go.
I was about to say, I could have went on. Yeah,
I know you could have, but that was the one I was looking for.
Okay. They were called "Sex as a Weapon" in the movie.
Wow, my friend. For
the bonus point.
Well, I'm evidently having T. Brad and James Williams over to the house because I thought I was the one that knew all this information. If you are the Giants again, you are again. T. Brad's in charge of the Giants. You are sitting there at 7, and let's put it this. Let's. I'm going to test the theory here. You're sitting there at 7. Malik Willis is there at 7.
Oh, wow.
Let's say Devin Lloyd is there at 7.
Oh, wow.
And a team comes up and offers you, let's say someone like Pittsburgh, who I believe is later in the, I forget, like 20 something.
20
in the draft. Let's say Pittsburgh comes up to you and says, you know what? We're going to give you 20 and we're going to give you a 3rd round pick this year as well to move up from 20 to 7. Because they're going to draft, they're going to probably grab Malik Willis. That's probably who they're going after. Do you even consider that trade if you're the Giants? You're going to get the number. Well, I'll make it even better. You're going to get 20. You're going to get a 3rd rounder this year. And let's say they're going to give you a 5th rounder in 2023.
On the surface, I'm going to ask, who did we take at 5?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's say, if we're the Giants, let's say that we took, I don't know, let's just say we took an offensive lineman at.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So we got an offensive lineman. You know what? I'm probably going to say no, because again, I just got done saying that if we got a spare tire, we got to fix it. We got to get Malik Willis there at 7. We luck up and get an offensive lineman at 1 and Malik Willis at 5 and Malik Willis at 7. I'm happy. I'm happy. It'd be sad to let Lloyd, walk, but then we can focus on defense and offense.
Yep. Defense. That's what I'm saying. This is a good question. This is a great question from Vinny. I'm hearing that we're keeping Shepard and Ingram. No good. I think that Shepard's going to stay on if he takes the 6-year veteran minimum, because I think I don't think he's going to be ready for the start of the season. So I do think he'll restructure his contract. I've said this before, T. Brad. I think Evan Ingram's going to get big money on the free agent market. I really do. I think people see his talent. They see the drops. They see the fact that he's an adequate blocker at best, I would say, but he's becoming a serviceable blocker. but I think he is going to go somewhere at 27 years old, and I think he's going to have. I think he's just going to turn the corner. I've said it before. If Evan Ingram, now I'm going to tell you this: if I'm Evan Ingram, I don't want to come back to the Giants. But if Evan Ingram does not find his place in the market, would you take him back on a team-friendly deal?
I take anybody on a team-friendly deal.
Even Mr. I cost you the Eagle game?
Yeah. The thing with Evan Ingram, I've never been a big fan. Never been a big fan of him. I hate the costly drops. It's like he can run, but what difference does that make if you can't catch the ball? I think Evan Ingram can, in my opinion, if he's going back on a team-friendly deal, yeah, we can keep him, but we still should be drafting a tight end this year.
Oh, and the moderator.
I thought we should have drafted one last year.
The moderator's back in. Get those likes up. Thank you, moderator, for jumping in, because we got to get the likes up. We got over 100 people in here. Where the hell are the likes?
Greatness 81. Love your post.
I love that too. Draft
Great.
And that's what I'm saying. Yep. But here's the question. You know what? I got a question for you and Greatness 81. I got a question for both of you at the same time. You're trading out of 7. How far down are you going?
Anybody who's willing to give us a second-round pick this draft. Here's the thing. We can drop as low as we want if we get a first next year or a second this year. Because we got Willis. Offensive lineman is still going to be a need. Defense is still a need. I'd like to put myself far enough back where we can get Lloyd or Dean, some linebacker help. That's where I'd like to go. But again, if we can get like another second, and let's say that second is in the teams, it gives us more opportunities to draft, to fill other holes, like that cornerback hole we talked about with the Bradbury move.
Frank says he would go down to 15. I'm personally, like I said, we've talked about this, and I know people get bored when I talk about it. The salary cap. I mean, right now we technically can't afford 2 picks in the top 10. If you look at the rookie draft pool until whatever the Giants can and should do, and I think a lot of people need to look at that. And like I said, I'm feeling. My opinion, like I said, in this draft with the talent they have in the top 20, I'm saying you can't go lower than 16, because I think that in my opinion, it's a top heavy draft in what I would refer to as immediate talent or impact talent. And I think those picks are going to be in the top 16. I like the guys that are below that a lot. But I'm thinking if you want an impact player, if you want a Jobu, you want a Dean, you want like a Jordan Davis, you even want an Andrew Booth Jr. or someone like that, you're going to have to grab them within the top 15. So in the Giants, while we have so many different holes and we need depth, I just get worried that we're going to miss on immediate talent. That's why I always love the Thibodeau Devin Lloyd, because to me, they're 2 impact starting immediate talent players.
Absolutely. I would love, again, if we don't take Malik Willis, I would love that Thibodeau Lloyd move. But looking back at if we traded back past the Eagles, because they got 2 first-round picks and they definitely need linebackers, they're definitely going to take one of the impact players that we want, whether it be Lloyd, whether it be Dean, maybe even Trayvon Walker from Georgia. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him as well. So trading back to get more capital is good, but again, you don't want to go too far back.
You don't want to go too back. And we have to acknowledge the Tuta super chat. Salute to the Godfather. Drop by your office to pay the proper respects for all the Giant fans around the world, slapping all them stinky boys and losers out the door. What's going on, Tuto? You got to stop taking pictures of me coming out of the shower. That's all I'm going to say. That's T-Brad. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know how he does it every week. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. Photoshop. I agree. Jeffrey's got a great point. The Giants have 2 first-rounders and 2 third-rounders in this year's draft. So you can 2
seconds as well.
I would like to have 2 seconds as well. But like I said, while I think the impact players are in the top 16, I think you can still find starting and depth players between, I would say, 55 and 80 or 90. I still think there's guys in that realm that not only could start, but could be impact players. Because I've said it a million times. The Gettleman's drafts were always filled with potential talent. We look at Brad, we look at Matt from Connecticut. And I've said Matt from Connecticut a million times. He's going to be a potential talent. He's going to take 4 to 5 years to become a starter. Same with Shane Lemieux, same with all these other guys. But I think in this draft, we can find those guys who could literally actually help the team. And to Jeffrey's point, I forgot about that. We do have 2 third-rounders. So now thinking about that, do you think there's any opportunity? Do you think getting only now a second in that spot is going to be worth potentially dropping out of a guy that could be a top five talent?
If you surface it, if you set it up that way, I got to say no.
Okay.
I have to say no because we have so many. Again, we got so many holes to fill, but nothing's a sure thing. But if you pass up on that guy again, let's go with the guy from Penn State. I'm not going to say his name. We just don't have him. But if we go with the guy from Penn State that we could have had and he's not there, we don't want to feel that sting again.
Right.
We don't want to feel that sting again.
Right. And we have the super chat from our friend here. And like I said, my friend, that's why I didn't ban you. My bad, guys. My phone cracked. That's why it auto-corrected. Meant to ask if we were both on board with taking Willis. I'm done with Jones. That's why you didn't get banned, because I knew it. And I got to drop someone in real quick here. We got people walking. This is like ASMR. Here comes the funk.
Hey guys, this is me. I told you I have family duties. I gotta go get the groceries.
Oh, look at the groceries, man. Wait, go back. What did you end up buying? I got to do that too.
That's my wife's thing. I had no idea.
I was like, Dom, thank you for teas, Dom. Look at the drinking the tea. I got tea. I got tea, Brad, bringing in the groceries. I got the Dahmer drinking tea, looking dapper, and then there's me sitting down in the basement on a Sunday with my family upstairs. Something's wrong with this.
Oh, there's Dom. Dom, it's got to be time for proper drinks, buddy.
It's always time for proper drinks.
I've got work tonight, guys. How's everyone doing?
We're doing well. I'm glad you can drop in. I meant to ask, you know what? We have to answer the Razor's question here. I meant to ask if you were both on board with taking Willis. I'm done with Jones. And like I said, Mr. Razor, you didn't get banned because of the fact that we knew what you meant, and that's why I didn't drop you out. So you didn't. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I think we're all on board for Willis. I think we're all on board.
Can we get the soundbite for the Express?
Of course you can.
It's Daniel Jones. It's Daniel Jones.
All aboard the Malik Willis Express.
We also have, you can also have the other one.
Malik Willis. Bring him the boom.
Always gonna drop that Malik Willis sound. I love the new soundboard. The new sound. Mod is telling me to pitch the fact that we have the gear ready for Poppycock. The Poppycockers gear I don't think it's up yet, but we have, Dom has seen it. We have the new Poppycocker logo. We have everything up. We have everything up and about. The gear should be.
It's Chardonnay approved.
It is Chardonnay approved. And I'm supposed to bring up the Poppycocker gear. You know what? I think I could do that right now. And we are going to bring up the Poppycocker gear because Dom is here. We got T-Brad here. I got some of the best Giant fans here. So we have to make sure we also have the Poppy because we're here for Dom. Because Dom was gracious enough to drop by. Hold on, wait. I got to go to the other soundboard for this one. I got to go to the other soundboard. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready? You can get Poppycockers shot glasses. You can get Poppycockers hoodies. You can get Poppycockers t-shirts. Because of the fact that it's here, that it's now, it's all new Poppycockers gear. It's a West End Adult Entertainment in London, in the West End. If you're looking to go out and get your Poppycock, there's no better place to go than the Poppycockers. Go out and get that gear now. And if you go out when the gear is ready, if you want, you can use the code Cocker Cash, and you can get $5 off your order of your Poppycockers gear.
Nice.
So
and sometimes when you go to Poppycockers and you get like a nice little setup, the kind of room you set up for, they'll set your alcohol up like this, little ice machine.
Oh,
variety of alcohol, whatever you want. Like Poppycockers, they'll set you up pretty good.
Oh, I like. What are we making with the pineapple?
Well, I was going to say T-Brad's been doing some consultancy work for us.
Oh, look, I got it. Oh, we don't stop.
Oh,
we don't stop.
Dom, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this now, and I don't think I'm speaking out of line. Party at T-Brad's house.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah. Let me know when. Definitely.
And I'm
on the next flight.
We're all going to T-Brad's house. Whoops, I just moved everyone. That's the link to the Poppycocker gear. The Poppycocker gear is on sale right now. And there's also F Your Sensitivity. I listen to Online Big Blue mugs, and there's going to be a lot of other fun stuff. Dom, you came in so graciously. We got T-Brad working hard, moving in the groceries. You saw my I don't know if you saw my top 51 list. Well, actually, I sent it to you. I did send it to you.
You did. You sent it to me with some deliberate errors to see if I'd spot them.
Yes, I actually left out Hutchinson on the list. And then I put two guys twice, and I sent it to Dom because I told him I'm going to post it this way because I want to see how many people get pissed off because of the fact that I did this. And Dom was like, no, you can't do it. So I didn't do it.
I didn't talk you out of it. I just said that was a typical you move, and I was looking forward to hearing the heat that you were going to get. But
the hate I was going to move on with that. On my list, Dom, you see you know my top 10.
Yeah,
you know my top 10. Is there anyone on the top 10 of my list right now that you think is either out of line, out of whack, or should be moved to another direction?
This year, no. I think because you look at it and go, you've got players that are probably more talented, but with the positional value, etc., you're just not taking them there. So I think Gardner's would be a touch high at 9 normally. Not massively, but 4 or 5 places too high. But I think in this draft, I think he is a top 10 pick. But I think in other years he would be a lot lower than that.
A lot lower. I agree. And I have a Hearst for real question. Here he goes. Tim, how good was Bob Shepard as the PA announcer at the old stadium? Bob Shepard was the best. Bob Shepard did the Yankee games. Bob Shepard did the Giant games over in MetLife. And I always do my Bob Shepard and I go, sends to McConkey, 14 yards. Goes down. He had the voice of God. Some people say that him and John Facenda. So that was the question. And James wants to be the bartender. Montana James is coming out to T-Brad's house. We got James coming out. We got T-Brad. We got Duke of Funk. We're going out. We're all going out to James' house because we saw what he has in there. Dom, did you get to watch any of the combine?
No, I've seen clips and pieces. So I've seen things like Willis's deep routes that he threw, things like that. I've seen bits and pieces, but I've got a little bit of catching up to do, which I'll do after I've done some work tonight while my wife watches whatever rubbish she watches on a Sunday night.
That's always so loving. T-Brad, we're gonna actually be closing this out. I'm gonna drop you off for a second because I'm gonna talk to the Dahmer. I appreciate the T-Brad. I'm gonna bring T-Brad up to the full screen here because T-Brad is the man for hanging out with me this long. I always enjoy. If you don't know T-Brad, I've said this a million times. He should have his own channel.
I may try it out.
Nobody ever listens to me. And I'll even make this. I will make this commitment to you, T-Brad. If you'd make a channel, I will come onto your channel and get you so much hate, and you'll probably get 1,000 subscribers.
I'm with it, man. I got to find out what kind of channel I want to have, man.
I'll be on it no matter what it is.
I got you, man.
I will be your first
dealing
guest.
with you guys, man.
But I appreciate you hanging in for a long period of time, T-Brad. T-Brad, like I said, if you don't know him, great subscriber, great friend to the channel, always has awesome comments. And like I said, we see him moving his bags in and out, so I don't want to take any more. I don't want to take any more of his Sunday, to be honest.
And unlike me, he can multitask. I can't talk and Google. He can do groceries and talk Giants at once.
Walking back and forward, going, oh my God, I feel so bad. He's doing this and doing this with us. So, but T-Brad, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on. You're always welcome. And like I said, have yourself a great Sunday.
I'll be in the chats. I'll talk to you.
All right. All right, Dahmer. It's the Dahmer. It's the Dahmer.
On my phone.
On
Didn't
the
have time
phone.
to turn the laptop on.
I actually was going to say you're actually coming in pretty good today.
Well, yeah, I've also just jumped out of the shower as well.
I saw that.
Just got
Nikki
back from the family swimming.
Nikki says she would put Neil over Stingley in her opinion.
I can't quite see the order you got them in. I can't remember them.
I have Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Hamilton, Stingley, Neil, Lloyd, and Willis.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'm probably inclined to agree with Nikki, but I think really when you're I kind of sort of see them as sort of in sort of buckets, sort of 1 to 5, 1 to 6. They're sort of your bucket. Then you're sort of next list. It's kind of how I look at them. I think, difference between 6 and 7 ultimately not massive. But I think if I was ordering them, then yeah, I'd probably do the same Neil over Stingley. But I don't think there's a world of difference between them, which is why I wasn't going to quibble. Right.
We have to recognize the two-toe super chat. Those 8-packs are products of extreme discipline. I know. There you go. Hey, I don't know if everyone can see that. Rubbing oil on them all the time. Strict diet. Wait, let me finish the super chat. Let me finish the super chat. Shut up. Grind daily for 18 years since I was 9 years old. Hard work's been paying off. I'm going to show him again, Dom. Just let everybody know. Now, what are you going to say, Dom?
Well, I was going to say that, Tuto has his 8-pack. Your 8-pack presumably was because there was 2 cans extra free in your pack when you did the grocery shopping.
Either that or there was 4-pack. There was 4 cans removed from the 12-pack. So I think Tuto needs us. Tuto, I was asked, you need to send us a meal plan. that was an actual question. Tuto, if you're still out there, that was an actual question for Mrs. Online Big Blue. You need to send us a meal plan. Because I'll show the abs again. Just look, just like Tuto's, man. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Bringing the boom. It's Daniel Jones. Malik Willis. Bringing the boom. It's great to have all these buttons. Wait, I found your button.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
I have that. Believe it or not, I have the draft, baby. Yeah button right at number 49. So I can just push that right away because it's right by my right hand. Is there anyone, Dom, that you're excited about?
That's what she said.
In reference to
Tuto's meal plan.
Besides Tuto's meal plan, is there anyone you're excited about right now that after you, like I said, you didn't really get to see the combine, you saw the highlights, you saw everything going on. Is there anyone
I've seen some clips of some players? I've seen some clips of some players I'm interested in.
Who are these players that you're interested in?
Honestly, I'm really interested in the linebackers, Lloyd and Dean. I think Lloyd is better than Dean, but Dean potentially, if we trade back, becomes more of an option. I think he's really exciting to look at, and that's where I will be having a real look ahead of Tuesday's show. But they excite me because I just think it's a position where we are so weak, and I think that get that right, and suddenly you're in a position where you can really transform that D. Even if Bradbury were to go, for instance, and you could argue there's a deficit at corner with him going, I think I'd be excited to see what the players step up with. But I think with no Blake Martinez, you worry about what the hell we do at linebacker unless someone comes in. So that's what excites me, and that's really where I'll be focusing. I won't lie though. I was again impressed with Malik Willis. Again, whether we take him or not, I think he's an exciting prospect for the league when he breaks through. Whether he's just fun to watch and blow straight out, or whether he goes far will remain to be seen, and it will be one or the other. There'll be nothing in between. It's all or bust, I think, with him. But I think he will be exciting. And again, if I'm taking a quarterback, he's the only one I take in this draft class. I've said it before the combine, and having had a look at a few of the quarterbacks, again, nothing changed my mind over the ones that worked out.
You know what else excites Tom? Does everyone else know what excites Tom?
Poppycockers.
Oh, yeah. We're dropping down the Poppycockers, the best old adult entertainment in the West End. If you're looking to get your Poppycock, there's no better place to go than Poppycockers. If you're looking for Poppycocker merch, go on the online Big Blue page and use the cost code CockerCash to get $5 off your Poppycocker merchandise.
It is the most popular piece of gear a trench coat with holes cut in the pockets.
That and people just want to see my abs. Oh my God. I love Reality Stone. Daniel Jones is a future car salesman. That's good because I still need to buy a car. I'm still car shopping. So if he could hurry up and lose his job, I'd appreciate that. Dom, is there anyone that you...
Hey.
Hello.
I got 1 minute.
You got 1 minute. Last question for Dom. You know what, Dom? We're just going to let you go because you're going to be on Tuesday.
I'll be on Tuesday.
You're going to be on Tuesday? Dom, I appreciate you popping in. I'm going to grab some questions here in the last 10 minutes. I appreciate it. Dom, we'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you for stopping in, and thank you for T-Brad, and thank you for Mr. E stopping in, Big L stopping in as well. Dom, we'll see you Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, Dahmer. We're moving the Duke of Funk out of there. He's got kid duty. Oh, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. We are alone here. I'm all alone. I have no friends. T-Brad says I may be able to join on Tuesday. Well, you are welcome to join on Tuesday, T-Brad. Cocker Cash is the next cryptocurrency to invest in. That's patent pending. Trademark patent pending. I'm thinking to myself here, and I'm looking at my list. I'm leaning back here. I'm looking at my list going, wow, Tim's a genius. What a list. What a list of the top 51. And the only one I'm really worried about right now as I'm thinking about it is Pickett. Do I have Pickett too? This is a question I have. Do I have Pickett too high at 22? Or do I have him too low at 22? Because like I said, I was not impressed with his combine performance. I was impressed with his spiral. I was impressed with his touch. But like I said, we play in the cold. We play where your hands actually shrink. If anyone's lived in the cold, your hands get smaller when it gets colder. And I've told the story before about Tony Sacca, former Penn State quarterback, went over to the Arizona Cardinals, had small hands, kept saying that the ball was too slick, couldn't throw the ball. And it turned out it was just too small for him to throw. We got a great Kenny Pickett equals Jake Fromm. I think he's got a better arm than Jake. I'm not going to lie about that. I think he's got a better arm. I think he's got more chance for that. We got to thank you again for T-Brad for coming in. But I think he's better. I think he's better than that. Ramon says, as much as I love Willis, he doesn't belong as a top 10 pick. Like I said, I got to respectfully disagree with you on that one, to be honest. Because like I said, I think he's got the opportunity. I think he's got the wherewithal. And Jeffries drops it out, goes, no small-handed quarterback has ever succeeded in the NFL. I don't know if that's, I don't know. Maybe that's true. I'm trying to think of a small-handed quarterback. All the Sacca family went to Penn State. They did. His two brothers played quarterback at Penn State. They did. I think it was two quarterbacks, but I don't remember who is the smallest hand. Someone needs to Google that. Is Zach? Google that. Who is the smarting quarterback that's got the smallest hands? Another funny one. Giants are fixing the cap and signing Amari Cooper. I did see, Vinny, that they were going to be moving on from Amari Cooper. It looks like Dallas is. And I love it because Vic's hands were small. They are moving on from him, and I like it because you know what? You're right. We are fixing the cap by signing an overpriced free agent. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that Vic's hands were 8.5. I had to look that up because I had a feeling I knew what the answer was. But yeah, we're not signing Cooper. We're not signing Cooper. Small, he's in 8.5 on the hands, on the small size. Vic is an outliner. Kenny Pickett has no upside. Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right, Jeff. He does not have the upside. He does not have the upside of the Michael Vick. And Michael Vick was a different player. Michael Vick was a special player. Let's see what hand size. Let's see here. I actually think he had a big hand. What's his name? I think he had a big hand. You know, it's funny. What's his name? I think the quarterback that went to the 49ers, was it Drunken Miller? He had like 11.5 inch or 12-inch hands. I remember that. I don't think he had a small hand. He's currently the current smallest belongs to Taysom Hill. I could see that. And Taysom Hill has a problem throwing the ball. He's got issues. We got everything going on, guys. You know what? I think we're going to. Has anyone got any questions I want to throw out before we wrap up? Because I think I'm going to wrap up a little early. It is now 12:44. We had such a great stream today. We had such great guests coming by. It was exciting. It was a lot of fun. I didn't know if anyone's got any fun questions they got coming up, or is there anything they want to talk about briefly before we head on out and I go upstairs and take care of the family. I don't know if anything's going on. We like I said, we started getting the merch is starting to go up. Everything's going up. Who is a debatable quarter? Let's see here. Currently, let's see. Pickett currently has the smallest hands of any quarterback in the NFL. I can see that. I have a question for everyone. Did everyone hit the? No, because we haven't even hit 70 likes. We had hundreds of people in this chat. We didn't even hit 70 likes. We're at 68. I'm going to sit here and not talk until we hit 70. I'm just going to sit here in my Willie Beeman jersey and not say anything.
Gotta get to work. That's right.
Yes.
Come on. My name is Willie.
I had to do the Willie Beeman dance. Got to do the shark dance. He's right. We got to do the team. Bring in the shark dance because we all know who Malik Willis is. We all know he's Willie Beeman in disguise. Yes, I have a Willie Beeman jersey. Who doesn't have a Willie Beeman jersey? Greatest quarterback in Shark history. Albuquerque Aztecs. What is this? Have you ever noticed that people are in love with Willis now? Tim, there's no room. Is there any room left on the Malik Willis? No, Nikki, there's no room left on the Malik Willis Express.
All aboard the Malik Willis Express.
You are a poser. You are a hater. You are everything in between if you weren't on the Malik Willis Express. I know Nikki's been on the Malik Willis Express all along, but I've seen all these people now. They're like, oh, he's just so great. And like I said, they're saying he has such a great combine. That's why they like him. And that, to me, that is like one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. You don't like a guy because of just the combine. That shouldn't sway your opinion on someone, just the combine. I'm not saying you, Nikki. I'm just saying in general. Poor Kenny P. Wonder which teams takes the risk. I don't know. Kenny needs to borrow Barrow's hand. I worry about Kenny in regards to him going to a cold. I really do. I worry about him going to a cold weather team. To me, he's almost got to be like a Drew Brees and go to a dome. People forget that in Brees, when he was in San Diego, was a good quarterback. A good quarterback, not a great quarterback, a good quarterback. He didn't become Drew Brees until he went to the dome. And I laugh because people forget that the Saints took a chance on Drew Brees because he was coming off a shoulder injury. He was coming off a shoulder surgery. He didn't go to Miami because Miami was afraid he was never going to come back from the shoulder injury. And the Saints took a chance on him, and it was the smartest thing ever because he went to the dome. And he became Drew Brees. The combine can trick you. Hashtag Mike Mamula. I've always used Mike Mamula. Mike Mamula did not have a terrible career, but he was a combine warrior. He is the poster child of do not fall in love with a player at the combine. Set combine records. He just couldn't get to the quarterback. Like I said, he wasn't a terrible quarterback. It wasn't a terrible player. He just was not a good player. I worried the Giants draft Pickett because he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey and he plays at Pitt. The thing with Kenny Pickett, though, to me, is he doesn't fit the Dable system. I'm just going to leave my top 100 up, my top 51 up. He doesn't fit the Dable system. Malik Willis fits the Dable system. Everyone can talk about the Kafka. We're bringing in the Kafka. Everyone can talk about the Kafka all you want. I think the Kafka is going to be like they did in Kansas City. I think what they're going to do is he's going to install the system like Eric Bieniemy did, and Dable's going to call the plays. I think that's what's going to happen. You know, the Walrus called the plays on game day in Kansas City, but Eric Bieniemy was the one that installed the system until the end of the 17th season. Then he became the actual offensive coordinator. So I kind of have a feeling that's what's going to happen. He got drafted. That's another thing people forget. He got drafted before Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp had problems. Warren Sapp had some issues coming into the draft. We're not going to talk badly about Warren Sapp because I've met Warren Sapp. I like Warren Sapp. We're not going to talk badly about him. But he had some issues coming out of college, which has really kept him down more. But he's right. Mike Mamula went over Sapp. I'm at 72. We're going to have the big stream on Tuesday, as always, with the Dahmer, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about everything going on here in the Giant Draft. We'll probably get some more, maybe a trade or maybe or something, or some more players released coming in. Got a lot of good videos. Snap smoked weed. Yeah, I know. He smoked weed. I know. Who didn't in college? We're going to have, hopefully have some trades. Hopefully we're going to have some people that are waived. We're going to get under the cap. We need to get under the cap. We need 5 more likes. Why do we need 5 more likes? I'm at 72. I'm at 72, Zach. Because I think I'm at 72. I need to get this damn store up. I got the store up, but it's not underneath my stuff yet. It's being reviewed by the YouTube. People got to stop reviewing my stuff. I'm at 72 likes. I'm happy with 72 likes. I'm happy with everyone that came in today. I hope everyone had a great time. It is Sunday. It's rainy weather here, so I hope everyone else can enjoy the rest of the day. I still got to, like the T-Brad, I got to do some food shopping. If there's any videos you want to see or any topics you want to cover, I got a whole ton of them coming up. But if there's anything else, like I always tell, just email me at onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. That's onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. Usually we get them up in a day or so for you. But also a lot of times people have asked me to do things. I'm like, that's already in the queue. But we got a lot of great videos. I got a great video coming up on Monday. I don't want to ruin it. But like I said, we're going to have so many rumors about Barkley, but they basically came out, Vinny, and basically said that they're not trading Barkley. And that was the thing. It's the same thing. It's the same crap with the 5th-year option. You had the beat writer not even come out and say that he had any information the Giants were going to do it. But you just had the information come out and say, they're probably not going to pick it up. And everyone was like, the Giants aren't picking it up. No, the beat writer said they're probably not going to pick it up. Didn't have no direct knowledge, had no information, had nothing. If you want to check out the merch, there's the website to go check out the merch. We got other stuff up besides Pop Cars. We're going to have a lot of online Big Blue stuff. We're going to have the Draft Baby stuff up.
Draft Baby. Yeah.
We have the big draft party coming up. March Madness is upon us as well. That's true. Maybe we'll do a March Madness video. I do like March Madness. We also have video should go all giant busts. There's a lot of them. But we should do that March Madness. Well, Nikki, thank you for dropping by as always. We got Hirsch for real, of course, in there. Keeping Barkley, trading at the deadline, you get better value. That is 100% correct. I think that's exactly what the Giants are going to do. And you know what, guys? We are going to end this right now. We are out of here. Hope everyone had a great stream. Hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend because, you still got some time left on Sunday. Hanging in here 2 hours strong. Want to thank the T-Brad. Want to thank L from coming in. My buddy. I missed him. He must have had to do something because he dropped out. Didn't even say goodbye. But we enjoyed having him on as well. If you're interested in coming on, I've said it before, just email me at onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. I always like to have guests on. Again, it's onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. If you feel like you want to come on and hang out for an hour or so, you are more than welcome to you. Zach says, see you on Tuesday. Hirsch Reels like later. Tim, Tyrone, my buddy. Have a great day. Have a great day. So as well, Tyrone. Levant says, thanks for everything you do, brother. I appreciate it because you know what? I wouldn't be doing this if you guys weren't here doing it and giving me the support because you know what? That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me driving because, like I said, it's difficult to do a video. It's difficult to do videos daily. But I don't stop. I don't just stop because you can't just stop. You got to just keep going. That's what you got to do. You got to grind it, and I'm a grinder. One more time, bring in the boom.
Malik Willis. Bring in the boom.
Malik Willis is going to be bringing the boom. He's going to be bringing the boom to MetLife. The next stop on the Malik Willis Express
All aboard.
is going to be
Malik
MetLife.
Willis Express.
I've said it before. You either jump on the Express or you're going to be under it when we come rolling into MetLife. And again, guys, I appreciate you. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see everyone on Tuesday. Look out for that video on Monday. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Only 73 people liked. I'm just joking, guys. Have a great weekend.